Tesla traders, Tesla investors, if you guys want to know what's been going on with Tesla stock and why it's been slumping, stay tuned with this video. I'm going to go over the fundamentals of why this stock is dropping, as well as delving into the chart, going over the technical analysis. So what's been going on with Tesla stock on a fundamental basis? A lot of it has to do with China. China right now is in a deflationary period, right? What does that mean? They're in a period where people stop spending money because they expect things to get cheaper, thus a slower economy. Ultimately, that's going to lower China EV sales, and a large part of Tesla's revenue is actually derived from China itself. Ultimately, what's been going on with Tesla stock, they've been showing negative growth year over year. They have EV sector as a whole has been in a slump, and Tesla's brand is not what it used to be. I'm going to delve into sort of the article that's been going on in Yahoo Finance and give you guys a live look at why Tesla's been dropping. So Tesla, as you can see here, reported 6,365 vehicle shipments from its Geiger Shanghai factory in February. This showed a 16% drop from a month ago, a 19% drop from a year ago, and the lowest shipment total since December 2022. As you guys can see here, demand is decreasing with Tesla year over year recently. What else has been going on? Due to decreasing demand, China needs to institute incentives. They need to increase discounts in their stock. Ultimately, that's going to decrease a lot of their margins. As you can see here, Tesla's competition is fierce in the China EV market. There's the NIO, there's the BYD. They ultimately had to cut prices and ultimately reduce shipments. Delving into macro trends, I'm going to look at the financial metrics. I'll first begin with the revenue. Year over year, you can see it's increasing, but you can see in June 30th of 2023, it had a year over year growth of 47.2%. After that, 8.84%, nearly a 30% decrease year on year growth. Then we had December 31st, 3.49%. You can see year over year decreasing revenue in Tesla. Now let's go into the gross profit. You can see decreasing year over year. Now we've entered into negative profitability, negative 22.37% in September 30th, 2023, negative 23.18% in December 31st of 2023. I'll then delve into the price to earnings ratios. You can see a huge decrease in the stock, and you can see the PE ratio is trading currently at 43.75. Let's go back, 57.79 in December 31st. September 30th had 80.46. June 30th had 74.16, 61.02, 34.03. You can see we had a PE ratio ranging as low as around 34.03, as high as 80 and recently, all the way up to 1,120 when Tesla had its parabolic run during its huge growth phase. Looking at its margins, like I said, they've had to decrease a lot of their EV car sales prices. That's going to overall decrease the bottom line, their profitability, and the gross margin. You can see year by year decrease in its gross margins. Overall, do I think these reasons that Tesla fell, do I believe these are permanent reasons, or do I believe we are going to be entering a period where this is simply going to be a tailwind? I do not believe China's deflationary period is going to be everlasting. I actually think that it's going to actually do the opposite. China's economy right now, as it stands, is not doing well, but policies instituted by China have pretty much are stirring the economy, fueling growth into the economy. Overall, do I believe all of these reasons that has caused Tesla stock to fall recently, do I believe these will eventually be tailwinds? Yes, and that's why I believe it's going to be a great opportunity for traders as well as investors who play the long-term game. Do I believe that China is going to be in a deflationary period for much longer? Not necessarily. China's economy right now are pumping billions into the economy, ultimately trying to stir and foster growth into the economy. Also, do I believe EV was just a fad, just like Impossible Burger or Beyond Meat? No, I believe EVs are the future. We are getting more and more technologically based, and I believe Tesla's going to be a large part of that. That's going to stir that push towards EV cars. So now that I've delved into the fundamentals of Tesla stock, understand that a lot of these reasons that has caused the sell-off in Tesla stock to be more of a temporary period and eventually be a tailwind, let's go into the chart and pinpoint where exactly do I want to buy Tesla stock. So here's TradingView. I opened up Tesla stock on the daily time frame. This is my technical analysis. When I do my technical analysis, I want to always chart out the top of the trend lines. Here, I pinpointed the top trend line, marking up as much points as possible. You can see touch this point 1, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 4 times here. Now, I'm going to do the lower trend line. I'm going to start my trend line all the way back here, extend it all the way over here to pretty much create a falling wedge. You can see multiple touch points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points for this lower trend line. So it's a strong trend line for us to go off of from. I'll then, to pinpoint where exactly I want to buy, then I'll plot out my Fibonacci retracement. Remember, I am not going to be chasing companies that are rising up. I'm going to be waiting for a deep pullback. That deep pullback is going to be at the golden zone. So how do you draw your Fibonacci retracements? I'm going to go from this swing low to this swing high. I'm going to go off the Fibonacci retracements, start from this swing low, draw it out to this swing high. You can see here, I pretty much made invisible of all the other points. The only relevant zone that I am looking at is this golden zone between the 0.5 and the 0.618. You can see here, every time we hit around this golden zone, this was a buying opportunity time and time after again. This was an area of demand. Not only was this an area of demand, this is the golden zone. That's two sort of confluences that support my thesis that we are going to be traveling higher into Tesla stock. You can see here, we're trading somewhere in the middle of this whole figure. Ideally, we want to wait for figures. Ideally, we want price action to fall into the lower trend line for us to establish our initial positions, which is what I will be waiting to do. So I'm going to delve into a little bit deeper of what caused this sort of sell-off on a technical basis. You can see here we had a death cross recently. This elicits a lot of selling pressure right here. You can see recently we had a capitulation point. RSI was trading at 17.43 at that point, had support off of it, and ultimately recently had that 7% down day where it's still sitting into the golden zone. You can see here off of the most recent trading action, off of the most recent trading day, that the volume here is far exceeds all the prior buying volume. This signals to me that lower lows is eventually going to happen. I'm going to wait for lower lows, and where exactly am I going to pinpoint initial positions? I want to establish my positions at areas of demand. So I'm going to go delve into the weekly time frame so I can get a better look at where I want to establish my positions. I'm going to zoom in a little bit further here. You can see here, there's an area of demand roughly around here, which I'm going to establish this right around here. And then we have one more area of demand sitting down over here. This is where I plotted on the monthly time frame. As you guys can see here, demand is sitting right over here. That is on the second monthly demand level, demand zone. And ultimately, I'm going to go into the weekly, see where I can pinpoint exactly where I want to enter this position. I'm going to establish my demand zone roughly around this level. We can see huge buying volume. You can see huge buying price action right around this level, which is where I'll start my buying, where I'll start accumulating my buys. So what exactly is my plan with Tesla stock? I'm going to be establishing positions at this lower trend line, which will align with a prior area of demand, as well as if this level breaks, establishing positions down over here, roughly around the 136 level, all the way down to roughly around that 100 level mark. So that's my analysis of Tesla stock. I'd appreciate if you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, just shoot it down in the comments below. I'll be there to answer your questions. Happy trading, guys.